So you've been involved in a MBTA train or bus accident. And people ask me, how does that vary from another type of accident like a car accident? So there's a lot of factors that you need to know. First of all, if it's MBTA, because it's the state of Massachusetts, we need to provide notice of the claim within 2 years to the state. If not, that actually acts as almost a statute of limitations, which is 3 years normally, right? So you have 3 years to bring your claim, either settle it or file a lawsuit. But with the MBTA, because it's the state, we have to provide notice of the claim in 2 years. So something to keep in mind. Amtrak, the statute is still the same, 3 years. So what's different? Well, let's talk about the bus first. So you're on a bus. Well, there's two possibilities. The bus is at fault for the accident, or another driver hits the bus and they're at fault. If another driver hits the bus and they're at fault, there really is nothing different than any other vehicle you're in, except you want to be able to prove you were on the bus. Unfortunately, there are people who do what we call jump-ins. So they see an accident and then they say they were on the bus when they weren't. So you want to make sure the bus driver documents who was on the bus at the time of the accident. And that is whether or not the bus is at fault or another driver is at fault. And when the police come, you want to make sure that police officer knows you are on the bus and where you were seated. Because if a vehicle hits the bus and you were right where that vehicle hit the bus, you're going to suffer the most damage, the most injuries because of the force, as opposed to you're in another part of the bus, up in the front, and the back corner of the bus was hit. Because the bus is so big and weighs so much, that always becomes an argument. So you want to make sure you document where you were seated on the bus. Other than that, there really isn't a lot of differences, right? We're going to have to do a lot of work to do the investigation, to prove things, so you want to make sure you call us right away so we can redo an accident reconstruction. Now, as far as the train, so the question is, were you on the loading platform or were you actually on the train? So the loading platform could be owned by MBTA, which means you have the 2-year statute of notice. If you were on the actual train, it's the 3-year statute. So obviously there isn't usually someone else at fault for your injuries if you're on the train, unless some crazy person drove into the train when you were on it. But generally, if there's an accident that occurs and you're on the train, it's going to be the train's responsibility. Again, you want to prove that you were on the train. So you want to make sure someone documents that you were on that train. You want to save your ticket. Save the ticket for the bus if you have one. Save your ticket for the train if you have one. Whatever you have to prove you were there at the time. Other than that, then obviously becomes your injuries, right? Your damages, which we can certainly talk about. If that happened, call my office and we'll make sure that we cover you for everything from proving they were negligent, proving that you were covered, and obviously helping you take care of your injuries and treatment. So we're here for you. If you need us, give us a call.